Pirates. Even though they are pretty evil, we can't help but want to be them for some reason. Even though a lot of us really like the world of pirates as a world for a video game, there is a noticeable lack of good pirate games. A good pirate game can undoubtedly make you some money, so why are there no pirate games? Or barely any good pirate games? Why do we even want pirate games? And what are my favorite already existing pirate games? That's what we're looking at right now. So let's take a deeper look at the question, why is there a lack of good pirate games? So why do we want these games? Well, there are a couple of reasons. A first reason could be because of the freedom. We are humans, and that means that there are a lot of us. There are almost no places without strict and serious rules and laws to follow. As a pirate, you don't have these restrictions. You're a rebel, free of the limits and influences of society. Even if you don't mind society that much, you can't help but agree that a world without it does sound appealing at times. Or for some even a world with society for others, but not for you. And in reality, our current day pirates, because yes, they still exist, aren't as cool. They look like they live on floating slums. I don't want to be there. They don't even fight with cutlasses and cannons. No, they're kind of boring, not gonna lie. So the world of pirates in video games is pretty romanticized, but also a lot more fun. Reason 2 is the exploration. Another thing that is very human is our love for discovery. Sailing around on uncharted waters, while stopping at the occasional island for some valuables and other things to discover is very relaxing in games. Also, the ocean is still a big mystery for us, so even the world underneath your ship will be full of interesting places and creatures to go take a look at. And those kinds of things create an obvious third reason, which is the untouched potential. The fact that there are not many pirate games just makes us want to have more pirate games. There are so many things you can still do with this setting that it's almost criminal that there aren't more. Some games have of course done a lot of cool things with the genre, but honestly it isn't even scratching the surface. Here's a small list of things that they can expand on. I came up with this list in like 20 seconds. Underwater places, underwater sea monsters, the classic pirates vs skeletons thing, cool ships, they don't have to be historically accurate, evil sea forts and structures on islands, ancient civilizations, naval combat, plundering and pillaging of villages and such, and just the overall magic and story of pirate mythology. And that's only a few things, and those things are also not very specific in my opinion. So, what are some cool pirate games? Games that actually try to do these things? I just chose 2 that I immediately thought of, and one extra one to prove a later point of mine. But don't worry, it's still one of the best pirate games, or rather pirate game series out there. Game 1 is considered by most to be the best pirate game out there. I can't comment on that though, because I haven't played it. The game I'm talking about is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This is first of all because it changes a lot of things about the usual Assassin's Creed formula, but that's besides the point. Black Flag is very good at catching the essence of adventuring and life as a pirate, as we want it to be. I've heard a lot of good things about the game's naval combat system, where you can shoot them down and board the enemy's ship to take them down. Another reason is that it's still as good and beautiful as it was when it came out, which, holy shit, is 2013? What the fuck, man? Another thing that I find very neat is the mechanic where you can go and hunt down legendary ships, which is just a really cool detail in my opinion. Assassin's Creed Black Flag has a lot to love. Another game that has a lot to love is actually a game you should have been seeing the entire time, which is Sea of Thieves. The place where you'll be spending a lot of time in this game is the open world, which overall is very slow paced, and I think that works very well in this case. You can encounter lots of shenanigans while exploring, like krakens, skeletons, sirens, other players, and even megalodons, so ancient giant sharks. The main gameplay loop of doing voyages to find treasure is fun, but can get a little old after a while. To compensate, there are many random events that can happen, like a skeleton ship appearing out of the sea, or a boss spawning somewhere on the map, which is telegraphed using the weather and clouds. One of my favorite details and an excellent example of good world building are the random skeleton captains you can find sometimes wandering islands. Upon killing them, they drop the orders they got from skeletons of higher ranks. This is a fun bonus loot and really makes you feel like you're in a world where things are there for a reason and puts the focus on the pirates versus skeletons theme I mentioned earlier. Though I've got to mention that the game has a lot of performance issues, which seem to get worse with every update, so fingers crossed, hopefully they fix that soon. Now for the last one, I hope I don't disappoint anyone because I did hype it up a little bit, but it's a game series that's one of the best in its genre, which is point and click adventures, because I'm talking about Monkey Island, baby. No one is stopping me. Seriously though, I think the Monkey Island series is really good. They might be the best point and click adventures, if it wasn't for put saves the zoo. Nah, I'm kidding. But these games are really good at discovery and pirates versus skeletons civil war things. You might be very surprised, but they are full of puzzles. In fact, that's what the game is about, so it isn't for everyone. But this iconic series is easily worth mentioning. Now, I've been talking a lot so far, but I haven't really addressed the main point of this video in a while. So let me answer the question this video is all about. Why are there so little good pirate games? We've already proven that there are some good pirate games, but those aren't enough to satisfy us gamers. A first reason is that a pirate game needs a lot of things to be good. A lot of things that take up a lot of resources and take a long time. Games already take a lot of time these days, but pirate games could easily take a lot longer. A lot of companies really want to advertise using hype from people, which could mean free advertisement when they inevitably go post about it. But when a game takes too long, the hype will die down, and they really don't want that. Though this isn't an excuse with what games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring have been able to accomplish lately. The second reason that there aren't many good pirate games is that there aren't many good pirate games. Allow me to explain. Why would a company choose a genre that seems to be more difficult when they can go for one that is much easier and has proven to sell more copies? This is pathetic, but it's true. Reason 3 is that it's difficult to have a main and recognizable gameplay loop for these games. There are genres that you immediately know what kind of game you'll get. For example, if you think about ninja, you'll probably think of fast-paced combat and or stealth. Pirate games don't currently have that clear identity. This isn't because pirate games are difficult to make, it's a consequence of companies not finding that recognizable gameplay and not wanting to. A genre with so many things to do in also means you can be very creative, but a lot of developers don't seem to want to be that creative. This is something that I did read a couple of times, and it does seem to have some truth to it. That's why I chose Monkey Island earlier. They're some of the best pirate games, but you cannot compare them to Sea of Thieves or Black Flag at all. Reason 4 is that they're almost neglecting storytelling. It's easy to make interesting and unique sea creatures and islands and stuff, but how much variation are these companies realistically going to put into their story? Right now, we have a few things that seem to rotate with every releasing title. Look for some treasure, look for some ancient artifact, defeat evil pirate group like skeletons or ghost pirates, or go save someone, and the last option is not having a story at all. There have got to be more ways to tell a story, but right now, these are the ones we're usually getting. Which is a little unfortunate. I do realize that it sounds like I'm arguing with myself here. That list I said earlier was meant to illustrate how much more you can do with these games than what we're getting. Now, at the end of the day, this is mostly speculation. We can't read minds, and there are most likely a lot more reasons. And believe it or not, even though a lot of people really want pirate games, a lot of them have mixed reviews. It's possible that we've just been yearning for those pirate games, and therefore we're never really satisfied with them. Let's just hope that we're getting some cool pirate games soon, but judging from Skull and Bones, that might not be the case. Quadruple A game my ass. Real quick, next week or the week after we'll have no video because I have to study for exams. And with that, I bid thee farewell.